Is anybody doing anything in school that they want help with in lessons? Let me know if that's the case, right? All right. I have planned for us today the topics of time, right? Also an exercise with numbers. Now, you had a exercise with numbers to turn in on a Google Form. So if you didn't already, you still could. You will have this week. You'll be able to turn it in this week, right? Before next class. What else? We also want to get through one more exercise with reflexive verbs, putting in pronouns. And then I want to introduce next week's topic, which will be restaurants, right? After restaurant week, but still. And then the grammar topic we will start will be stem changing verbs or radical changing verbs, right? The link for the work, the link to send any numbers you mean, the number exercise. I can send it at some point during class, right? I'll make a note here, send link for homework, right? I'll send it during class. I can't send it right this minute. I don't have it handy, but I'll get it during class, right? All right. And then the only thing I will assign for homework new will be to review the vocabulary sheet for restaurants, right? Review and learn, copy and learn, right? All right. Tell any time. So nothing to write on this slide. I'm just sort of reminding us about the phrases that we use in English when we talk about time. Right? So what time is it? Pretty popular question, right? And then we say it is when we respond with the time. And then we say however many minutes passed. Or we might say it's so many minutes to the hour, right? So like right now we might say it's, well, we would say it's 20 minutes to the hour, right? 20 minutes to 5. But in Spanish, we would say it is, we wouldn't say minutes to, we translate that idea as minutes less the hour, right? So we would say 5 less 20 in Spanish, right? Everybody in class has done time before. If you haven't done time before, I would like to know, right? So expressions we might say in English, it is 1 o'clock, it is 3 o'clock. It's 5 minutes past 5. We might also say it's 2:15, right? If we're given digital time. We might say it's 2:45. So 2:15 would be 2:15 or 15 minutes past 2. 2:45 would be 3:15. Sorry, 3:15, right? And we might, it's 5 minutes to 5. So all of these are common expressions in English, right? And remember, this is how we structure the sentence when we tell the time. So now let's look at how we say things in Spanish. So here we have a clock. And at the bottom, we have the $1 million question. ¿Qué hora es? What time, is it? All right, I can't unmute you, so if you have a question, you can put it, you have to put it in the chat, right? You did not need to write down what was on the previous slide if that was the issue, right? That was just a reminder of how we talk about time in English, right? All right, so we know our numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 and 12, right? All right, so now we need to say it is. Now, how do we say it is in Spanish? Well, we would be using ser and not a star. So for 1 o'clock, we would say es la una because it's just 1, right? Es la una, it is 1 o'clock. Two o'clock, son las dos. So the plural form now, right? Now in English, how does this translate? It's still, it is 2 o'clock. All right, so now if you know this part of the topic really well, then you do not need to write it again. If you're meeting it for the first time, obviously you may want to write it. But if you know it really well, you don't have to write it. There might be other things as the topic gets a little hard in the next couple of slides that will be useful, right? All right, son las tres. So what will 4 o'clock be? Son las cuatro, son las cinco, son las seis, son las siete, son las ocho, son las nueve, son las 10, son las 11, son las 12, right? So there are 2 expressions that we need to remember. Well, 3 if you count the KRAs, right? And the 2 expressions to tell the time, if by chance you're meeting this first, but if you're not, if you've met it already, then you know this, right? And the first thing is isla, it is for 1 o'clock, right? And then the next thing is son las for all the other hours. So it is the time, and then the time son las, right? Okay, any questions? Anybody unsure of anything? Anybody confused? Please say, I'm gonna pause for a minute. So 12 o'clock, you know, could be midday or it could be midnight, right? So if it is midday, we could write it is, well, wait, this is medio dia, right? Literally half day, right? It is midday. Okay, so it's not exactly numbers, but it is an important expression, right? And then for midnight is medianoche, right? It is midnight. So day is masculine. So you'll notice medio is an adjective. It is masculine to agree with day, right? And noche is feminine. So media with an A to agree with night, which is feminine, right? Right. So can I do my counting to 10 and move into the next slide? Okay, so let's move the next slide, sorry. And now we're gonna look at minutes. So still again, ¿qué hora es? What time is it? All right, so for 5 o'clock, not 5 o'clock, sorry. For 5 minutes, which is by the 1, is cinco. And 5, literally and 5, right? But in English, what would we say? We would say 5 past. Right? All right, and then for 2, we would be EDAs. 10 past. For 3, a quarter of the hour past, right? So y cuarto. Quarto is the word for quarter. So this is 10 past. This is quarter past. Twenty past. $25 past. Right? Remember that 25 numbers, the numbers in the 20, not 25 numbers. Numbers in the 20 is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 are one word, right? All right, and then on the 6th, we will have half past, right? Immediate. All right. Now, once we get to the other numbers, instead of E, we start to use menos. And then we also have to use the hour that we're going to, right? So let's say, let me draw in some hands, right? And people, again, some of y'all know this really well, so you don't have to stress too much, right? So let's say it is, I'm gonna give 2 hands. So 20 minutes past 2. Right, that's a shorthand. Sorry, it's been a while since I drew clock. Right, so it's going, all right, yeah. So we would say son las dos, oops, dos y 20, right? 20 minutes past 2. This is 2:20. Let me use a different color. But when we're going up the other side now, so we're going, let's say it is 20 minutes now to 2. It's on the way to 2 o'clock. Let me change it. Let's say to, yeah, okay, to 2, right? It's on the way to 2 o'clock, but it's not quite there yet, right? Then it becomes son las dos menos 20. Right? So how would we translate this as? Perhaps 25 to 20 to quarter to. Now I'm choosing to translate it in this way so you'll know which number is the hour that you have to state, right? You have to state the hour that the hand is going to. Menos 10 cento, right? And 5 to, and then 12 o'clock on last Tuesday, but we already have that, right? 5 to, or 5 till, 5 until, 5 minutes before. All of those would work, right? This is how we would translate any of those expressions. So 25 minutes before, 20 minutes until, etc., etc. Everybody is seeing what I'm writing on the screen, and one person is saying they're not seeing it. But other people are seeing it, yes, because I'm getting answers. Okay, so what I could try doing is resharing. Let me just try resharing the screen, right? Now nobody is seeing it, but now hopefully we'll see it. Right, if you're still not seeing it, then the only thing I could suggest is maybe you try logging out and logging back in. All right, so I'm waiting a couple minutes here, and then you'll tell me if you need more time. Right, so now we want to look at some expressions that relate to time, right? So phrases and expressions associated with time. Yeah. Okay, so the first one, de la mañana, which is in the morning, right? When you have a specific time. So this means in the morning, if a time is given, you would use de la, because the other option is por la mañana, which just means like during the morning, but no specific time, right? All right, so de la madrugada, in the early morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? So in the very early morning, right? Like maybe before 5 a.m. Maybe before 6 a.m. Let's go before 6 a.m. Right? Wee hours of the morning. All right, de la tarde in the evening. Right? So even though de means of most of the time or from, in relation to expressions of time, it means in, right? All right. Now, mañana by itself could also mean tomorrow, as well as de la mañana and de la tarde could mean AM and PM, right? In some comprehensions, I've seen, I mean, not our textbook comprehensions, but like when you're looking at other teachers' comprehensions online, I've seen AM itself and PM itself, right? But if for some reason that presented itself in front of you, you would have to say AM and P AM, right? All right, de la noche, at night, in the night. Right. What else we have here? Eso de is what we want to remember. Right? Okay, sorry. So just to go back up here, in the morning, if a time is given, we use de la mañana. So if I say, for instance, voy a la escuela a las 7 de la mañana. Right? I am going to school at 7 a.m. At 7 in the morning. Right? Now, if I didn't say 7 o'clock, if I just said I'm going to school in the morning, like if you're feeling sick over the weekend and your parents ask you, okay, you staying home tomorrow or you're going to school tomorrow? And you say, voy a la escuela por la mañana. Right? So you don't always use de la mañana or de la tarde to translate in the morning or in the evening, right? You use it when a time is given because it works like AM and PM. Right? All right. A eso de las dos. So this expression, a eso de, around, about 2 o'clock. Right? Let me change the ink to a different color. Nope, that is too hard to see. Okay, well, let's just try black. About 2 o'clock. Right? At around 2 o'clock. Now, these are nice expressions to fit into your dialogues, your letters, your conversations, right? Well, okay, this one is a eso de. Right? What time do you go to bed? Instead of just saying me acuesto a las 10, you could say me acuesto a eso de las 10. I go to bed around 10 o'clock, right? Okay. A las 12 en punto, so at 2 o'clock exactly, right? So a and en punto, right? Probably don't need to underline this. So okay, exactly, right? So at 2 exactly. Okay, what time does the bell ring? What time you return home? A qué hora vuelves a la casa? A las 12 en punto. I wish. At 2 o'clock exactly. Right? Well, we already know a qué hora, right? So if you already have that written down, hopefully you don't need to write it again, right? And I've lost. Okay, here we go. All right, at what time? So this is just an example of a question with it. At what time does the train leave? Right? But you know, in English, we might not ask it at what time does the train leave. We might say, when does the train leave? Or just what time does the train leave, right? So when does the train depart? When does the train leave? Right? Right. Now we're getting to por la mañana. So let me just give you a minute to catch up here, and then we'll continue with the rest. Right. So other ways of saying in the morning, por la mañana. Right. And this is for when we just mean like on mornings. We don't have an exact time in mind. Right. And it could also translate as during the morning. Right. So it doesn't have to exactly be on mornings. It just means it's going to happen in the morning time, right? Por la tarde, obviously, on evenings, during the evening. So the next one is going to be what? Por la noche, probably. Right? And just like, you know, it means during the night. You see, it's just in English, we would say in the night rather than on the nighttime, right? We would say in the night. So during the night, in the night. Okay, and just a reminder, por, if there is no exact time. So use por if there is no exact time given, right? Oh, okay. Well, I have this down here. So if you've already written this, you don't need to write it again. All right. So the first bullet point, use por if no time is given, right? Second bullet point, use de la tarde to refer to any time after lunch to nightfall. And then use de la noche after dark, right? If you are already clear on this, you do not need to write it down, right? And then obviously morning time will be buenos dias, right? He didn't, right? All right, practice exercise time. We're going to write the time in numbers. And you can put your answers in the chat. This is a quick exercise. Es la una. It's what time? Right, great. 1 o'clock, good. Next one. Son las dos. I'm going to put all. Son las tres. Now we will get a little, all right, son las 4:30. What do I answer? So this is 1 o'clock. This is 2 o'clock. This is 3 o'clock. Was 4:30. I watch out for typos, right? So 4, 4:30, half, right? So 4:30, 4:30 is fine. 30 minutes past 4, I guess. What is son las 5:15? If I said you a sad face, just check over your answer, right? Right, 5:15, 5:15, yes. All right, son las 6:05, son las 7:10, son las 8:20. Why do I have no minuses here, boy? Son las 8:20, 9:25. Ah, here we get to the minus. Son las 10, well, let's just clear up these first. All right, so cuarto is quarter. So let's just make sure we know this. Cuatro is 4. Cuarto is quarter. And 14 is 14, right? All right, so 6:05, 6:05, 7:10, 7:10, 8:20, 8:20, 9:25, 9:25. Right. If anybody found any of these difficult, please tell me in the chat. All right. Now let's get to the minus. Son las 10:05. What is that time? Right, good. 5 to 10. Good. So if I write it out as a number, it will be 9:55. But if I say it in words, 5 to 10. All right, what about 11:10? Good. 10 to 11. Right? Or I could write it out as 9:50. No, 10:50. Sorry. About 10:50. Okay. Son las 2:15. So it is, if you're having trouble with the minus, we'll translate it literally to see what the answer is. So you would say 2 minus means less, and cuarto is quarter, right? So it's 2 less a quarter, which means it is quarter to 2. Right? Or we could also say 1:45, right? All right. Son las 3 menos 20. Son las 3 menos 20. So if it's giving you trouble, write it out literally. It is 3 less 20, right? So that means it is 20 minutes to 3. And if it is 20 minutes to 3, then it is 2:40. 2:40, yes, 2:40, right? All right. Es la 1:25. It is 1 o'clock less 25. So 25 to 1. Or 25 to 1, that is 12:35, right? And then mediodía, midday, which, just now when I gave it to you, I gave it to you as 2 separate words. It, I've seen it written both ways. I think in your textbook, it's probably written as 1 word. Have you all met it before? So mediodía could also be 1 word, right? And medianoche, midnight. But if you put it like into Google Translate or something, it will give you 2 words. But in your textbook, you probably see it as 1 word. All right. Any questions? Any problems? Okay. Let us it is 5:22. Before we take a break, let's try and do one more thing. Okay, I want to clear away the screen. Anybody still writing here? All right, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Go ahead. All right, let's look for our numbers exercise. Hello, friend, the tutor. Right. Let's try and translate these numbers. So the first one I feel like we did last year. Not last year, last week. Right? What is how do we say 2024 in Spanish? We have to say literally 2000. And then what? 24, right? So we don't translate the 0. Good. So 2024. All right. Now, number 2 is a series of pairs of numbers. So let's say these are the winning lottery tickets numbers, right? So we're just going to do them in pairs. So what is the first one? 45? What is 45? How do we say 45 in Spanish? Right, good. Okay, 45. How do we say 67? 67, good. 89. 89, right? 93. 93, good. 21. 21, one word, right? Good. And last one. DAC, right? CAT. Good. All right. So let's take our break now, right? And when we come back, we'll continue working on these. Right? We'll do 3 to 7. It would be mean to make you stay here so we can finish this and take a break. So let's just take 5 minutes, right? I'm going to clear away. I'm going to clear away what is written here, right? All right. So we're taking our try at number 3. I'm going to break it down piece by piece, right? Now, one thing that is different is that number 3 asks you to say this number for dollars, right? So at the end of it, you're going to have the noun dólares, right? Which means that the numbers have now become an adjective in this example, right? So there are some rules. Well, one rule that will change one of the numbers a little bit. All right, so first, a million, un millón, right? All right, 421. What's 421? 400, first of all, so cuatro cientos. The one above was individual, but this number 3 is one number. So take a try. So 21 will be, so 421. Right? And then this place is thousands, right? So 21,000. So we remember that meal remains as meal, whether plural or single is meal, right? And then we're on to 600 now. So 600. And then 78. 78 dólares. Now, one slight change is a rule that we have not discussed, but I think some of you know it because when you type the answer, you typed it correctly. Because dólares is a masculine noun, but dólares, right? It's plural here, but it's a masculine noun. So 21 gets shortened to 21. And we put an accent to keep the stress on the U, right? So it becomes 21. If anybody has a question, you could ask, right? All right, what about the next one? 976. Okay, let me pause the recording. Give it. All right, so 976 is, so this is number 4, right? 976, 76, right? Number 5, 800, one word. Right? Y5. Number 6, 700. I'll check the chat in a second, right? And then we don't translate the zero. So siete cientos y uno, right? So there's no noun that this goes with. So it's just uno. If I had asked you, like, let's say $701, right? You would tell me siete cientos y un dólares, right? Because now it would be in front of a noun and uno gets shortened to un in front of a masculine noun, right? There's a small group of now adjectives that this happens to. All right, number 7 now. One second. All right, if you didn't already send your answer for 7, you could. All right. Ciento. Uno. Right? All right, if you have questions, you can send them, right? This week. So here is a vocabulary list. It is very long, right? So this is the major homework assignment for the next couple of weeks, right? To just sort of review this list, make your own version of it, especially words that you're seeing for the first time, right? Because we're going to start this topic at the restaurant, and then we're also going to start radical changes, some changing verbs, right? In conjunction with it. So it's several pages long. The first thing is just a general list of items you might find in a restaurant setting, right? And then we have some expressions for the customer, things that the customer might say. So if it's blank, then you can find a meaning for it. I will put in some meanings. The ones that I'm missing. I meant to do it before class, but I ran out of time. Right. So this page is for the customer, things that the customer might say. This page is questions about the menu, questions you might ask about the menu, right? This page is things the server might say. And then these are things we might say after receiving the food, from, it was delicious, to how you would like to pay, right? Or questions about the tip. And then down here is a list of fruits, a list of vegetables, a list of grains. So food, right? Basically food, proteins, the different types of meats you might order, or the different types of beans you might order, dairy. So you might want to say, does it, the waiter might want to tell us what is in the dish, or you might want to say something that you cannot have because you're allergic to it. And you can draw from this list, right? A list of breakfast foods, things you might order for breakfast, so things you might eat for breakfast. A list of lunch foods, a list of sides, desserts. It's a very long vocabulary list, right? So what I would suggest to you is that for this week, you focus on the stuff that has both the English and the Spanish, right? So you could leave out, for now, you could write out the Spanish and leave it blank for the English. By the end of the week, I'll have it up. Just the two pieces, the two tables, there's 3, right? That I'm missing. Okay, my bad. 3.5. That I'm missing the English translation, right? So you can focus on the nouns, and we'll come back to this within a week, right? I will ask her to post this on the website, but the link is also in the chat. Let's see if this has loaded. No, it has not. This site did this to me yesterday in class too. I don't know why, but it will come up just in a minute, and we can check to see. Right, there we go. All right, so homework link. What does it take us to? the numbers, right? So the link is on the website. You can see it there, right? You click on that and you go there. It will ask you to put in an email, and it will ask you what is your name and what form are you in. This is just for me to keep track of who is doing it. But you get 3 marks. And then it will be on, why is this out of 63? Maybe I thought this is supposed to be 2 marks. So we have 65, right? All right. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to ask? Or say or mention or complain about? No? Okay, y'all, that's such a good class. All right. Let's try this, right? We've been doing the reflexive pronoun, so let's wrap up that topic with a little exercise here, right? Place the appropriate reflexive pronoun in the correct place. If y'all are in my English class, I've told you one of my little writing issues is that I will write something and I will repeat a word and I won't notice until I read it over. So now look, I put place here and I put place here. So I'm gonna change this to put. All right. So let's look at the first sentence. And you can write down, you choose what you write down, right? If you you have enough energy, I would say at least write down a few as examples. So I would say write down this one because it's a question. This one because it's negative, and you could choose any others that you have energy and time for, right? All right, so let's look at the first one. This is the lower form class, so I've given you more vocabulary than I will to tomorrow's class when we do a version of this exercise, right? Yo siempre something, shower in the morning, right? All right. It's great if you could conjugate the verb. Remember that the verb, all of these are reflexive verbs, right? So how do we say to shower? Duchar, and then it has a say at the end. That is the infinitive. So what goes into the blank? It has to be the verb as well as the reflexive pronoun. So tell me the answer. Remember to conjugate the verb, right? The only time we wouldn't conjugate the verb is if we have 2 verbs coming together, we conjugate the first one and as the second one. All right, so if we conjugate the verb, that means we go from duchar, and we take off the AR and we add the endings, and it's yo. So for yo, we would add O. So it would be ducho, right? All right, so I'm putting piece of the answer in here. What's the other piece? What am I doing about this C? What pronoun for you? T would be for two. You. So you would be T. What is for I? Me? Right, me. Yo siempre me ducho por la mañana. I always shower in the morning, right? 1-to-1 translation. Okay. I will give you options for this one. Quantas veces los something. Do you brush your teeth? So quantas veces, how many times do you brush your teeth? So remember that when you're talking about body parts, whereas in English you say my hands, my feet, my teeth, my nose, whatever. In Spanish, we just use the article. We just say los. We say how, so it's literally in Spanish. How many times do you brush the teeth? Right? And from the context, we figure out who the teeth belong to. hopefully not the victim of a serial killer. All right. So what verb are we using? I would like you to use, I'm going to give you two choices. I'm going to give you CPRC. And then sometimes I have seen lavarse. Right? So what do you think goes into the blank here? Right. So CPR, let's go with that one first. That's it. And then we take it off. We add to the stem. CPO, CPIAS. Sorry. Why did I put an O there? Habit. Right? So CPIAS, because you brush. And then the reflexive pronoun for say will be T. Now, if you find that you are not sure what reflexive pronoun to put, or you don't know what Miss is talking about, you need to go back and revise. This is normal present tense, so te in front and CPS after, right? Good. Lavarse, take off the AR, it would be lavas, right? And again, te. So quantas veces te lavas los dientes. Okay, she goes to bed early. The verb for that is acostarse. So try that one. If you have a good grasp of the exercise you feel like, feel free to work ahead. So acostarse, then stay home is quejarse. No, so not quejarse, sorry, quedarse. Oh, no, no, no. What is that, right? Concentrate is concentrarse. Oh, okay. Acostar is stem changing. So if you tell me we haven't done stem changing yet, so if you tell me acosta, I understand why you're saying that. But the stem is really going to be ACUEST, and then you add your ending, right? Concentrarse is the infinitive. Relaxing, relajarse. I want to go to bed. Okay, well, we already said this. Acostarse. Earlier when I was telling you what to write down, I want you to also please write this one down, right? And then going to complain, that one is quejarse. All right, so let's go to this one with acostarse. So ella, she goes to bed early, right? Acuesta. All right, let me clear away. Te lavas. Done with this, right? Okay, so acuesta, right? And then to agree with ella, it would be C, right? All right, there's a lot of things to keep in mind when you're doing it, right? So just the more you practice, the fewer mistakes you will get, right? All right, so Aos, she stays home today. Sorry, not she's, they stay home today. All right, so the Aos form, so quedar. So this is the ending, QUED is the stem. Quedo, quedas, queda, quedamos, quedan. All right, so Aos quedan. And then what is the pronoun? Pronoun is C, right? Okay, this one is a little bit trickier, no puedo. And so I want you all to tell me what is the answer for this. How do we complete this sentence with no puedo? No puedo means, okay, so I can't concentrate, right? But if I write this a slightly different way so we could see a pattern, I am unable to concentrate. All right, so I need you all to see that we have two verbs. One verb is to be able to, and the other verb is to concentrate. And when we have two verbs coming back to back and it's the same subject, one of them stays in the infinitive, right? Because to concentrate, to walk, to stand, to stay, to go to bed, to brush one's teeth, to shower, all of that infinitive. Once I'm saying to do the thing, that is the infinitive form, which means it stays as the verb or the AR or the ER or the IR ending, right? So no puedo concentrar. And then you have to tell me the pronoun. That is what will change. Not the verb will not be conjugated. Right? So tell me the pronoun. Since it is I, then it is me. No puedo concentrarme. Because I have one verb and then I have another verb. And actually, there's a little bit of a hint down here because I changed the exercise a bit, but I left in what was. Oh, wait, no, my bad. This is the English. Concentrate, not concentrate. Okay. All right. Everybody understand that? Did it catch you? If I don't leave it as concentrar, what am I saying? I cannot, well, in English, it doesn't sound off. I concentrate. That's kind of what I'm saying. I concentrate, right? I am unable, I concentrate, right? All right. Okay, here what? I will make note on the I will make a note to go back over this thing that I'm saying with the infinitives, because I think we'll run out of class out of time if I try to do it now. So I'll explain it again and give you more examples to practice. If you're in class tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, otherwise next week, Wednesday, right? All right. And we have one more example down below, so maybe it will become clearer. All right, but everybody sees no puedo concentrarme. That is the answer, right? I can't concentrate. All right, look at the next question. So just write it down for now, and let's look at the next one. We're using relajarse. Aquí es imposible. So relaxing here is impossible. Who is relaxing, boy? That is very unclear. I think this stays as the infinitive too, you know. Yeah. If I write it as to relax here is impossible. There's no subject, right? There's no person doing the relaxing. So it could mean for us to relax here is impossible. It could mean for you to relax here is impossible. It could mean for anyone to relax here is impossible. So we're leaving this as relajarse. All right, I feel like this is another one people should take down as an example. The ones with the little pink asterisks, right? All right, two more. I want to go to bed. So you'll notice that to go to bed is in the infinitive form because to do something is the infinitive form, right? Is always translated as the infinitive form. So the infinitive is acostar. And since it's I, what pronoun do we use? Me, right? Acostar me, right? Okay, last one. Quejarse, to complain. My parents are going to complain. Mis padres van a, okay, this is another tricky one. I'm gonna put a little pink asterisk here because to complain is what form of the verb? Is this a conjugated verb or is this the infinitive? Is this what we call the infinitive? Because it's in a to form. It's the infinitive. So if it's the infinitive, we keep the AR or the ER or the IR, right? So quejar. And then who is doing the complaining? My parents. They are doing the complaining. So what pronoun do they get? They would be ellos. So they would get se. Right. All right. Now look at the sentence again, right? My parents are going to complain. Because of this van, we have to leave that as quejarse. If it's directly my parents are complaining, it would be mis padres que se quejan, right? Mis padres se quejan. They are complaining right now. It's just one action word in the sentence, one verb. So if we make it match the subject, we conjugate it. But over here in the example you had before, it's two verbs together, right? They are going to van, and then quejarse, right? To complain. It stays in the infinitive. All right, anybody still confused about this infinitive business and when the two verbs come together? Or has it been resolved with the other examples? If okay, well, because based on answers, I think it was resolved, right? So we could do a little more practice, but probably we don't need as basic as an explanation. All right, okay. All right, so let's wrap up here. For homework, I'm asking you to make a dent in the vocabulary for the restaurant, right? And if you didn't do the numbers exercise already, try the numbers exercise. It is posted on the website under last week's class or something as a homework link, right? And I will ask this week as well to put the vocabulary list. Right? All right, guys. Y'all are free to go once you've written down everything you need to. If any problems come up during the week, just message some of you. I will see you tomorrow, right? Enjoy your night.